section because we would have to make provision of the recorded presentation for those who might not be able to make it for the live section. So once again, my name is Abiola, and this is Mindklass Masterclass for students. Today, we will be talking about something which is very important. If you are online, can you please mute yourself so that we can have...
Sorry. Hello.
Can you please mute yourself, please? Everyone, please. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Today we are talking about understanding time and season. You would agree with me that times and seasons, determines what becomes of an individual's life. When we are very young, we have this challenge of not being able to make the most of our time. We do not have an understanding that time flies, and what we can actually do to make the most of our time is to fly along, is to understand each time and season. And that's why we are looking at the topic today, understanding time and season. Understanding time and season. So by the end of this course, we expect, or we hope that students would have good understanding of time and seasons. We trust that students would know or be knowledgeable about 3 seasons of life. We hope that students should be able to understand and learn from people that are using their money season well, and also be inspired to use their time and seasons effectively. So, introduction to time and season. There's a research carried out by Stanford University in the late 90s. There was an experiment that was carried out. The experiment is called Stanford Marshmallow experiment. The experiment was actually carried out to know if delay in immediate pleasure would help young students to become more successful in the future. So 16 girls and 16 boys were, put together and they were studied. So they offered them either a small but immediate reward or 2 rewards if they waited for a long period of time. The reward was either a marshmallow or a pretzel stick. So they actually want to know if these young students, would choose to take the one reward because of their, because of possibly their need, or they would choose to delay pleasure and get 2 rewards in the future. And the result was that the researchers found that children who delayed in their future studies of the life of the children, they found that in the future that the students who delay pleasure into the future by waiting for longer time to get 2 rewards were more successful as measured by, number 1, SAT scores. Number 2, by educational performance. Number 3, by body mass index. So they were able to deny themselves to ensure that they keep in shape. And lastly, and other life measures. So they were able, the researchers found that the students, perform better in the future as a result of the ability to delay pleasure into the future. In their future studies, they applied the same research to a larger group of students. And they found that, more than half of the study, of the students that they studied, the result was actually the same. And they discovered that the other half, the major reason why, they didn't get the same result is because of, background issues, because of where they were coming from and other challenges. But the point here is that students who have learned the ability to delay pleasure into the future are more likely, to do well are more likely to do well in all aspects of life compared to students who have not learned to delay pleasure into the future. What is time? Time is the total living period of a person when action takes place or continues. So action is very important in time. Taking steps, planning, preparing. These are points that are very important for students to learn to ensure that they make the most of each second, each minute. And don't forget that time is measured by every milliseconds, every second, minutes, and every moment of life. Time is very important. And the second definition that we are looking at is season. It's a division of a person's life marked by special roles and activities. In our life as individuals, when we are very young, there's roles that we were expected to do. And when we grow older, we accept different set of roles. When we grow old also, there are certain roles and activities that are expected of us. And that identifies the different stages of the seasons of the life of an individual. There are 3 important seasons of an individual's life. And this is very important for students to actually take notes if they can, to make the most of this class. Number 1 is the morning season. Then the number 2 is the afternoon season. And the last is the night season. The morning season consists of the first 25 years of an individual. It is the foundation of an individual's life. It determines how fast a person will go. It determines the height that a person will actually go in life. And it is also referred to as a dry season. And the reason why it's regarded as the dry season for an individual is because at this age, it is assumed that from the very first part, from 0, it is assumed that an individual does not know as he or she ought to know. Like the popular saying that if whoever thinks that he knows not as he or she ought to know. So at this age, it is referred to as a dry season. The person, as the psychologists say, that the human mind, when first conceived, is like a plain slate. So it is on that plain slate that the family, the mother, father, society, the media, and the nature of the person begins to write what will become of that child, what will become of that person. So this age is regarded as a dry season, where the mind of the person is very fresh, where the person knows little or nothing. Another point is that it is the age of confusion. It is normal for a young student at this age, especially in the first 10 years, to be confused about so many things, to ask questions. And that leads us to the next question. Because the child is confused, then there will be questioning. Like about Einstein asked question. He asked question about the gift that was given unto him when he was very young. And that was the gift of a compass. He was also given a robot steam train engine. And these are the little things that count, that further shaping who about Einstein actually became as one of the greatest scientists of his age. So it is the age of questioning. Like Isaac Newton asked the question, he said, does the moon also fall? And it was this question of Isaac Newton that gave birth to the law of gravitation. It is also the age of learning and trying. So it is the age when a young student should learn. He should be exposed. He or she should, lay hands on relevant books to ensure that that dryness of knowledge is filled with knowledge, is filled with wisdom, is filled with the intellectual know-how on how to do things, how to, live successfully in this life. And that which has been learned should be tried, because knowledge acquired and not put to practice is no knowledge. Also, it is the age of making mistakes. So it is important that as a young student, as a young person, when you are in this age and you make mistake, it is normal. But making mistake and not yielding to correction or looking for a way to correct those mistakes is not good. So mistakes can happen at this age. And also, it is the age where talent should be, discovered. As a young student, you should be on the verge of finding your talent. You should be on the verge of building your talent. You should be on the verge of seeking to develop your talent, to expand your knowledge, to develop your talent. It is very important that at this money season that you build and develop your talents. It is also the age when we save time. The most important thing that you can save, that anybody can save, is time. Is time. It is not money. It is not resources. So you save the afternoon season in the morning season. You save the night season in the morning season. So it is the age where we save. Also, it is the age of positive curiosity. Curiosity as to where you should be in life. Curiosity as to what you want to become in life. Like Albert Einstein said that I don't have special talents. He said, I am only passionately curious. And as Albert Einstein said, that is the secret of about Einstein's success. Also, in the afternoon season, it is the second 25 years of an individual. At this second 25 years, it is the age which is also referred to as the rainy season. At this time, you are set, you are ready to do what you have learned in the morning season. You are set and you are ready to put to practice what you have learned. You are set and ready to, experiment what you have learned. You are developing yourself. You can stand as a manager. You can stand as a leader in a group, in a company. At this age, you should have finished your program, your degree, your ND, your HND, should have finished your NYC if possible. At this present age, we have students at the age of 19, 20 that are done with their first degree program. So that at the afternoon season, it is very important that this is the age where students, should be on the verge of applying what he or she has learned in the morning season. In the night season also, which is the third 25th year, is the age of developing people. At this time, you are a mature person, you are a learned person, you are an experienced person who is working in a field where you are an expert in a field where you can say, yes, I have knowledge as to how things work in this field. I have knowledge as to how I can do things in this field. So that is the age where you have started building your company as an entrepreneur, started building your company or working in a company as an expert in a field. It is the age of doing and also doing the more. It is important. It's the age of self-development. You are still developing yourself. It is the age when you give back to the society, like the likes of Bill Gates today and Jeff Bezos. These ones have resigned from their company. They have resigned and they are now developing people. They are developing nations. Like Bill Gates is now giving back to countries like Nigeria, Africa, and so on. So it's giving back to Africans and nations that are not performing well. And that is what the night season is like. Don't forget as a student that if you fail to prepare for the morning season, you will have to be fixing the morning season in the afternoon season. And if you fail to prepare for the morning season also, you have to be fixing the morning season in the afternoon and night season. And don't forget also as a student that when the afternoon season is not well prepared for, the afternoon and night season suffers. When you look at elderly people who are suffering in their old age, one of the things that you might want to look at is because they never prepared in the morning. They never developed themselves in the morning. They never go through the drive, the confusion, the questioning. They never ask questions. They never learned. They didn't really make mistakes and they didn't learn from their mistake. They didn't build their talent. They didn't find their talent. They didn't save time. So when you save time in the morning season, you will never suffer in the night. And that is why you are here today, to learn how to make the most of your time. I'd like to play this video so that you watch and learn from people who are using their morning season effectively. And this is a young man who is in his morning season, and his name is Samuel Agbaje, 17-year-old boy in JSS3, who built an easy to ride electric bike for disabled people. Watch.
I decided to build an electric motorbike that will help disabled people whenever they are going somewhere. You don't need your legs to do something, or you just have to on it and it will take you to wherever you want to go. My name is Samuel Abwaje and I'm a 17-year-old boy. Just complete my JSS.
So this is Samuel, who built an electric motorbike, especially as he mentioned, he said for disabled people. Beautifully well. I'd like to play it again in case you didn't watch it right. Let's have the second view.
I decided to build an electric motorbike that will help disabled people whenever they are going somewhere. You don't need your legs to do something, or you just have to on it and it will take you to wherever you want to go. My name is Samuel Abwaje and I'm a 17-year-old boy. Just complete my JSS.
So this is one of the person that we can say is actually using his money season well. Another person that we'll be looking at is Isaac Newton, which I've always been mentioning. This man asked the question. Don't forget that we said that the money season is the age of questioning. He asked the question at when he was around 23 years of age. He said, does the moon also fall? Which made him develop the law of gravitation. That was the beginning. It was that simple question that made him develop the law of gravitation. Also, Bill Gates, he discovered his love of computers at the age of 13. So as a young student, at the early stage of the money season, you should be, be curious about finding out what you want to do, what you want to be. You should be on the verge of building your future. You should be on the verge of learning. You should be on the verge of, reading books that will help you to find your love, your passion, and to help you discover your talent. So before the age of 25, he had already started a company. And that is Bill Gates. Another person I will be looking at is Oprah Winfrey, who is regarded as the most influential Black woman in the world. This woman found out that she loved media at age 14. And she found her first job at age 16 as a radio broadcaster. One of the stories I love about this woman was that when she was very young, she and her mother, her grandmother, they were living as slaves when America was still suffering, when racism was still at its peak in America. And a woman was told by her grandmother when she was around the age of 8. Her grandmother said, Oprah, I hope you find yourself a wealthy white person, such that you will be able to, serve them the way we are also serving them as slaves. And around the age of 8, she replied saying, no, grandmama, I wouldn't. So talking about the fact that this woman has developed self-awareness when she was very young. Don't forget, she grew from nothing and became something. She grew from, from nothing to become something, from a slave to become one of the most influential Black woman in the world today. That's Oprah Winfrey. And our Nigerian, richest African person, who is referred to as Dangote, it was said that he started his first business enterprise was in primary school when he sold boxes of sweets to his colleagues in school then. So he studied business studies and administration, and started his business in his early 20s. So as a young person, there is no age that is too young for you to start something. Even if you're not starting, you should be reading, developing, and preparing until when the time is right for you to kickstart your idea, to kickstart your project. And that is why you are here today, to learn. And also, John Milton said, the child shows the man as the money shows the day. So what you are doing in your money season will greatly determine what will become of you in your night, in your afternoon season. Many people are suffering today because they never use their morning season well. So as a young student, you should be reading. You should be developing yourself. You should be reading books, not just your physics, biology, and the likes. You should be reading books that will help you develop your positive thinking. So that when people are thinking negative, when people are saying that the country is bad, when people are saying that there's no hope for them, you should be developing your thinking. You should be developing your mindset to ensure that you don't think like all who are thinking like failures. So as a student, you should work on your mindset. And one of the ways to do that is through books. Read books, and the morning season is one of the best way you can develop your mindset. So I want to look at the facts of time and season. Number one is that the time and season lost can never be regained. One of my teachers do say when we're in school that wear your uniform when you are young, so that you will not wear it when you are old. So the point here is that when you are young and you go to school, if you wear uniform in your school, be serious and be determined to make the most out of it, so that you will not, be wearing uniform as a security personnel, so that you will not be wearing uniform when you are old. So it is important that you understand time.
Hello. I wouldn't know if this platform gives room for record so that we'll be able to have access to adequate information on what this class is have in stock for the participants to learn.
We manage our time to manage our life. If you see someone who is not doing well, if you see a student who is failing, if you see an elderly person who is not doing well, one of the reasons is because they fail to manage their time. And don't forget that we are hammering on the morning season because as a student, that is the prime age. That is the foundation. Like when you are building, a skyscraper, you invest more in the foundation. If you are building a house, the foundation is very important. It determine, it will determine the strength of the structure that will be built on it. So we manage our life. Manage our life by managing our time. If you want to do well academically, check your time. What do you spend your time doing? So you need to learn to manage your time. Also, another point is as corn seed matures in 8 weeks, cocoa in 4 years, so does our time and season differ. They are different. So if you are building a future who is like that can be likened to a cocoa seed, you will need to understand that you should not be like someone who is building a future that is like a corn seed. Now the point here is that someone who is building a future like a cocoa seed is like someone who is intended to become a doctor. So it will require more of your time. It will require more of your energy. You have to read more than someone who wants to study a course that does not really require much time and effort. Another point here is that a major difference between the successful and the unsuccessful is how they use their time and season. So if you want to, grow, if you want to develop, if you want to become your best, you will need to manage your time and season more effectively. What do you do in the morning? Much more importantly. So what you do in the morning goes a long way in determining what will become of you in the afternoon and in the night. Also, the secret to life is living ahead of time and season. What this means is that you have to be proactive as a student. So proactivity is very important to help you to stay relevant in your season. For example, before you go to class, you are expected to have read ahead. You are expected to have read ahead if you are in accounts or accounting department. You're expected to be prepared for HICAN or ACCA, or other professional course that can help you to become more professional in the future that you are planning to build for yourself. As we conclude today, we will be looking at the parable of the Chinese bamboo grass. In this parable, we're made to understand that like other plants, the Chinese bamboo grass requires watering. It requires, fertilizing. It requires sunshine. But unlike many other grass, it never shows any sign of roots, even above the soil, in the first, second, third, and even the fourth year. Not until the fifth year that the Chinese bamboo grass grows 80 feet tall in just 6 weeks. In just 6 weeks. Afterwards, it can be used for various construction work. Now, the point here is that does the Chinese bamboo grass really grow 80 feet tall in 6 weeks? Or was it really lying doing nothing underground in the first 4 years? How can the story of the research at Stanford University, like we learned in the foundation, and the bamboo grass help students to become more successful? This is what I would like students that are available on this platform to, would like us to discuss around. So if you're students and you are here, can you please, unmute yourself and let's hear what your contribution as to what we have been discussing so far and the question that we have before us. Is anybody who would like to speak as students? Any student, please. Is anyone who would like to speak? Any students?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Good
I
evening.
would like to.
Okay, let's have who would like to speak first?
Donola.
Okay, Mrs. Oyeda, right?
Donola. Yes.
Okay.
I would say that there's so much interference, but then all the while that the bamboo was not going up, was spreading its roots underground, sapping all the nutrients and water, extending so that by the time it has taken in so much nutrients, it can just now shoot out within some time. But the period of preparation, the period of exploration, the period of trial and searching was what the bamboo was doing underground. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the insightful contribution. So like she has beautifully said, so the Chinese bamboo tree was preparing, like one of the beautiful things that a young student can do in the morning season is that there will be struggle. There will be, the need to strive. There will be challenges that students will have to conquer. So through the questioning, through the confusion, they are how to help us build muscle. Like if you have read about the development of a butterfly, you will discover that one of the struggles that a butterfly goes through is in its ability to break through its cocoon. So the essence of that struggle is to help the butterfly build and strengthen its wings in order to enable the butterfly to fly. If you make an attempt to assist the butterfly, to cut the cocoon, the shield, to ensure that it comes out easily, the butterfly would never fly. And that is the mystery of life. So the bamboo grass has been going through the struggle underground. And that is why as a student, when you are struggling with mathematics, when you are struggling with physics, when you are struggling with your course, they are all helping you to build muscle, to help you build strength, to help you build capacity, such that when you have understood, like Ben Carson said, he has read to an extent and he said, I understand human brain. He said, I understand the human, cerebrum. So it is important that we understand as a student that we need to understand that the money season is the prime, very important and crucial season. Is there any student, like a young student, who would like to speak? We have less than 3 minutes to close today's class. Any students? Any student, can you please unmute yourself? Any students? Okay, Mr. Omoni, I think you would like to speak. Okay, you can unmute yourself, Mr. Omoni, and speak.
Hello.
Okay, you're welcome, sir.
Hello. Okay, good evening. Very wonderful avenue like this class. What I want to ask is well taken and well explained explanation. But what I want to ask is, what can a tutor do to a learner who doesn't show interest or who doesn't give its all to learning, despite effort of the tutor at every point in time? That's my question. Yes.
Okay. Now, as regarding your question, one of the beautiful way to inspire a student to develop affection for reading, if you have been trying, you have been pushing, and some students have not been showing any interest. Number one thing is never to give up. If you have read about the story of Ben Carson, you will discover that his mom struggled. Even many teachers tried, but he was not showing interest in the first instance. So there has to be a collaboration between the tutor and the parents. Students spend less than eight hours in a day with teachers. So teachers has little effort to do to influence such a child. So it has to be a collaboration between the parents and the teacher. So number one thing is that inspiration. Inspiration is one of the beautiful ways to change individuals' behavior, not just caning or the others. So when you tell stories, when you inspire students through pictures, through videos, through stories, like presentation like this, it can always inspire such students to develop affection for reading. One of the beautiful things that Sonia Carson, who happens to be the mother of Ben Carson, did was that she told Ben Carson to start going to the library. She disciplined him and his other brother. She said, you have to be reading 2 books in a week. And that was the plan. So that was all what helped Ben Carson, to develop affection for reading. So there has to be disciplining, as in correctional discipline, not destructive disciplining. So it has to come from the tutor and much more importantly, from the parents. So never give up. Keep telling stories, inspiring